Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Melvin here, back alone again. Emil will be with me tomorrow, and I hope the streaming is good today, not as bad as tomorrow. Okay, now what we have today, we're going to take you to Malacca. We have a short video that's been shown recently. Look at it, our video in Malacca. Wow, this is Malacca Jungle Streets. Isn't it a bit scary? It's like ghost town, isn't it? It's quiet. Why I'm showing this video, because we hope this was I saw this video about a month, 2 months back, beginning of the lockdown. And why I'm bringing this back again, because there's certain things that's bothering me, and I don't know whether it bothers everyone else, but I think it bothers the Prime Minister as well. It's a report. I mean, as yesterday, Prime Minister's fear a repeat of post-Sabah elections COVID-19, like the outbreak will be probably in Malacca if the state elections is allowed. Because as you know, the state has dissolved, and it might go for state elections. So the prime minister, like anyone else, any one of us, have this fear that there's a repeat of the post-Sabah elections. Because of the Sabah elections was held last year in September, we saw how COVID-19 cases went up. People were concerned the state elections in Malacca might trigger more COVID-19 cases. Imagine in Sabah, it will also affect people in Peninsula, because a lot of people travel by flights. It will also claim some politicians' life lately. So if the election is held, the people of Malacca living in different states will definitely return to vote, and no one can deny their rights as a voter. But we are also worried that it will infect others. They will probably get infected, and they will pass to other people. And because we have the last few days, our numbers have been dropping. It's a good sign. The number of cases that's so-called clear is more than those that's affected daily. So the government needs to learn from what happens after Sabah elections. The positive cases increased not only there but throughout the country, because that's many businesses sector had to be closed during the implementation of MCO. So this is a serious thing that I would like to bring out. I hope the state government, the governor, is the governor of Malacca now. Please consider the facts, what is the best for the Malacca people, and not only the effects, it will affect the whole country. So if a state election is called Malacca, we believe the election commissions will definitely come up with a strict SOP as control measure. This is what is reported. But is it enough? The health authorities are highly concerned about how the upcoming Malacca state's elections may affect the country COVID-19 situations. So MOH to prepare for the worst, and maybe can't use the Sabah state election sample last year as a benchmark. I mean, that's a benchmark. Probably they can have to take look into it, and what if there is no choice, what's the best SOP? And I think as a layman, the best thing if Malacca have to insist having the state elections on, those people who return to Malacca for votes have to confine themselves at least 3-4 weeks in Malacca, get the whole Malacca states locked down from the rest of others. So to those who travel back, have a total lockdown, make sure they stay 3-4 weeks, it is clear before they are released from Malacca. This is my thoughts this morning when I have these articles in mind. So the government will seek the view of experts before deciding if the state election should be held in Malacca, say Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Hussein. So I personally feel, and I hope, let it hold on for a while, look at it next year. I'm sure that's the way, so-called, even though it was dissolved, the state assembly is sure a way how do we not have state elections that might trigger another lockdown for which all of us do not need it at all. I mean, I have faced one over year of stress, and I mean, things don't move as fast as you want. Economics is bad, the mood is down. Now everyone start to move back to work. We don't want things back to the worse. All right. So I hope the message is clear, and hope the government has to consider all the factors. Please, I hope to hear good news soon from them. All right. Moving on about things getting better, because the next topic is back to office. Right. Everyone is going back to office. The offices in Malaysia, we have all employees fully vaccinated, can now operate with 100%, not 10%, sorry, 100% capacity. So throughout Malaysia, all offices, we have employees fully vaccinated, can now operate at 100% capacity. So over the past few days, many companies in the private sector have transitions back to working in the office, either full-time or some kind of hybrid form. I can tell you, at ACTnow office, we have a few of our colleagues are actually working at home. So we actually started work mid of last month when we are allowed, but it's on 50% capacity. So the others are working at home, and we have agreements that we monitor the situations. If it's encouraging, improving, then only they come back. So we will see how it is end of the month and see whether we can have a full capacity on 1st November. So this is what I hope. I mean, a lot of companies is actually doing the same. So several companies introduce measures so that their fully vaccinated employees can work safely in the office. So a good example cases is Volkswagen, Malaysia. The employer safety is very important to them. So they have taken initiative to provide free COVID-19 self-test kits, COVID-19 self-test kits for every employee at the start of each working week as precautions. It's good, of course, if the company can afford it, why not? So every beginning of the week, have this provided free for a self-test kit for the staff, for the whole employee. So at least they would know. And in fact, I have old-time friends, a businessman, who happened to call me yesterday. They said, yes, we are quite close by in our office. They said, yes, we don't go up anymore for lunches. They said, why not drop by, just two, three of us, So we said, Melvin, you don't mind? We have very strict control. When everyone comes to the office, we have a test kit. Do you mind? I said, I absolutely do not mind. It's good for everyone. It's a good practice. So some in Volkswagen, employees are split into two groups, and they will alternatively return to office on a weekly basis. It's a very good idea. We have this practice before June, before lockdown, on weekly basis. We rotate. So this is also a good exercise, not to implement 100% capacity, even the government say allowed you. So probably on alternate week, so we monitor for a month or two, and then before deciding whether everyone come back. If it's not only your office environment is good, the whole place, not only your working place, the whole country, because why interstate travels will be back soon. So we have to monitor that, and we should not encourage the Malacca to have a state election so fast. Hold on if possible. So it's also reported a recent survey showed that 1/3 of Malaysians are not ready to return to their offices, preferring to work from home in this new normal brought upon COVID-19. Yes, I also believe so. A lot of people prefer to work at home, but you have to ask yourself, you have to justify your working hours. You want to work at home, focus if it's the working hours dedicate to your office, because I do come across people who work at home. Half of the time they do their own housework, so it's quite unfair. And I also come across those people who work at home are not reachable because the office refused to give their personal number and all these things, and then the email you send them 10 times, they do not return your emails. This is what I experienced personally. But if I do support people working at home, but then we have to tell ourselves we have to be responsible for the company to not abuse that. All right. And also the survey showed the Malaysian would prefer to work more than half their working week, or 2.8 days from home. Yeah, I mean, a lot of Malaysians would love to work at home, but then you have to be as good contributing as in the office, right? The survey also found that Malaysian employees want flexibility of workplace and schedule in order to feel more connected, productive, and stress-free. Well, it's all about employees. Yes, the good staff is actually will contribute to the growth of the company. But I say we have to tell the employees themselves, you have to stay responsible to the company. Make sure your productivity will not drop at least the same level. All right, as in working physically in office. The survey showed that Malaysian employees will also expect employers to be more flexible in terms of going to office, adding the forcing employees to shift back to full-time will encourage them to look for alternative work. Well, this one, do not threaten your bosses, please. Right? You can actually discuss a bit, but do not threaten your boss that if you don't allow me to work at home, I will look for other job. That's not the way. All right. Times are it's not that good. It's what makes sure you secure a better job. You have to listen and discuss. Your boss also have like me. I don't mind as long the productivity level is there. Please rethink Do not threaten your boss at all, please. Employers who fail to understand this need are at the risk of losing talents. Yes, you might be, but then if your staff employee is beyond reasonable, I think that's losing that is not an issue, because they would like to threaten you along the way. So that's not a good relationship at all, you know. So it's also say here 40% of the employers expect them to work away from home full time. They will consider looking for other job. Well, I think you have to be reasonable. Those who are working, who work at home, I do know that certain extent of abuse level. Those working at home, you prefer working at home. Why not you ask your company also give you to adjust the salary? You know, I don't mind if you adjust the salary. Yes, you can work at home, but you demand the same. Please discuss this over properly and do not threaten your company. All right, that's all I want to say. All right, another small snippet news. This is something that reported yesterday, which I was always wondering. It says that 12.7 billion SMS texts on COVID-19 sent to 38.6 million mobile users since February 2020. All these calls were borne by telcos. Until today, we already received SMS text about COVID-19. Early morning, sometimes we wake up the whole throughout the day. It's actually 12.7 billion SMS text has been sent over 38.6 million mobile users. Well, it's quite. Um, uh, why 38.6? We have only about 33 million because some people have more than one handphone, right? So it says here. Some 12.7 billion text message of COVID-19 has been disseminated through short messaging services, SMS, without the government having to bear any expenditure costs since February last year. So this was a written reply in Parliament recently. So that's a lot. And of course, telecommunications is doing the CSR. They're doing the right thing. The bond all these services. If the government have to pay, let's say 10 cents per SMS, that's a lot. So congratulations, well done, telcos. We need you all to do national services when we all needed at all. I mean, look at now. We are small, but yet we're doing national services. All reports through ACTnow is free services, and we always come back to you, updates you, and all these things. We do not even ask you a single cent. We do not even ask the government to subsidize us. It's a free service. We're also doing national services. All right. So this is reported, and it's nice to know 12.7 billion SMS has been sent since last year, February. That's a lot. All right. So that's about it today. Hope you all have a good lunch today. But it's been quite in Colombo. I think the rest of the country as well. It's a wet season. It showered a bit this morning, and now it's a bit gloomy. So it's a raining season now. So those who travel out, please get prepared. Do not, if you drive, please do not speed. Always get ready your umbrella with you in a car, or walk around with the umbrella and all these things. You might need it. So I will see you tomorrow again, same time, and tomorrow we have meal with me. All right. Have a nice day. Take care. Goodbye.